Hey everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina, and as I said in my last video on the tutorial that I did for how to cover my little mini tag book, I'd show you how I did the inside pages. So let's get started with that. I'm using the Pink Paisley Queen Bee collection, and I'm sorry if I sound funny. My allergies are acting up, and I feel like to myself I sound weird. But anyway, this is the Pink Paisley Queen Bee collection, and I just wanted to show you whenever I have a collection and I start buying a collection, I keep them in these clear 12 by 12 envelopes, and I put all of the pieces and scraps and parts to it in this collection because I usually use it all the way until it's gone. So I'm using the 6x6 paper pad for this, and it's perfect for covering these smaller mini albums, and it's great too if you're doing a 6x6 album. So just rip off the pages, cut your chipboard, and adhere them down. So I went ahead and covered my front page, my front cover, but this is just using a medium weight chipboard, and it's cut at just a little bit more than 2.5 inches by 4.5. And I think in my last video I told you I cut it at 2.5 by 4.25, but I changed it because the envelopes I'm using, which are these number 3 coin envelopes, I got them at Staples, they're 2.5 by 4.25, and I wanted the cover to be just a little bit bigger, so that's why I changed the size on that. So let's start by, I'm going to go ahead and cover my back page, and I'm just going to use some this quick dry adhesive, and just put that nice little coating on it. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick down my piece. Now you can cut this before if you want, but I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife to trim it out. So, and then I take my brayer and just make sure it's nice and adhered down, and then I'll flip it over and use my X-Acto knife or my craft knife to trim out the pattern paper. Go. And then I took my little file here, and I'm just going to file the edges. And then the other thing I'm going to do, and I won't do this on the video, is just I'm going to ink the edges with some of the Tim Holtz Distress ink. Pink Paisley's pattern paper is becoming one of my new favorites. Don't worry, Kane Company's still up there. Okay, so let me just clear off this little mess that I made from and we'll do the back side, and for the back side I'm going to go ahead and use the striped paper, and again I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that down. I'll start off by lining up my corner. Trying to move that glue a little bit. And the edges, so that all I really have to do is trim around 2 sides. So and then I'll just use my burr again to get that all nice and adhered down. And then my X-Acto, or I keep calling it X-Acto, and it's not an X-Acto. This is a Cutter Bee by EK Success knife. I got mine, I think it was at AC Moore. Matter of fact, I know it was on AC Moore. It was on clearance. They still have it though. They changed the color. It's all gray instead of gray and pink. There we go. And then file down the edges. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I really want to show you how to do the inside pages. So the inside pages are really just these coin envelopes that I got at Staples, and I'm going to cut off this top flap. So I just open it up, and I'm going to line this at 4.25 and just cut off that top flap. And you can do as many pages as you want. For my album, I'm going to do 4 or 5 of them. I think these would be great to give like to my mom and my husband's or my mother-in-law to keep like pictures of the grandkids in their wallet or their purse. I thought that would work perfectly. Kind of like a little mini brag book. So, okay, so that's that's 3. There's a 4th one there. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down my pattern paper, and I'm going to cut this to, it was a little bit more than 2, well, the envelope is 2.5, so I'm going to do this at 2.5 by 4 1/4. So that's one side. And then I'm going to get another piece of scrap here. We'll cut this down to, let's see what size this is. Let's cut this at 4 1/4 by 2.5. Right? And I'm just going to show you how I do 1 or 2 of these. So we're just going to use my ATG gun to adhere my pattern paper down. And I'm getting low, so it's my ATG is squeaking on me here. When I seem to get down to the bottom, it likes to make lots of noise. So sorry about the awful squeak. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about how the envelope kind of meets here, because I'm going to cover that up. Because later on we're going to punch that out. So I'm just going to line this up on my envelope, just like that. And then flip it over, and we'll add some more adhesive to the other side. And then I'll line up my paper. That's not the right one. Did I cut that wrong? I think I did. Okay, let me just cut another piece of pattern paper. Let's use this one. So it's 2.5. Why is it every time I'm doing a video somebody's outside blowing the horn? Alright, so 2.5 by 4 1/4. And hopefully this time I got it right. I did. So there we go. Okay, so that's one. So let's just do one more. Let's pick out 2 more pieces of our pattern paper. So I'm going to use this one, and see, I think I had some other loose ones in here that maybe I can use. And that one. No, let's do this one. Alright. So put this in and cut it at 2.5, and I'm just going to do both pieces at one time. By 4 1/4. Go. And then I need my envelope and my ATG gun. Mr. Squeaky, as I like to call him now. And we'll just line this up. For some reason I noticed these envelopes kind of curve a little bit. I don't know why. I'm not going to worry about it actually. Because they line up, it lines up in the end. I don't know why it does that. Okay, so that's our pages to our book. So now let's see. I'm going to use a 1-inch punch, and this is by EK Success. And what I'm going to do is just open up my envelope, or my coin envelope here. I'm going to turn my punch, well actually I'm going to turn this upside down and stick this in, and what I'm doing is I'm going to line up the little marks on the side to the envelope, the top of the envelope, and then punch out, and then I want to make sure I'm in the center and punch out. So that creates that little section right there. And then what I'll do is just take a pencil, if I can find my pencil. I need to use something else. Oh, pencil. And just trace that mark so that I have something to use to line up when I stick my punch back inside the envelope to do the other side. So that's how I do that. And then when I go to do the second envelope, what I do is I take I can't punch through all of this at one time, but I can at least use it to guide and start my, oh, I'm wrong. No, I'm not doing it that way. I'm actually going to trace the section that I punched out before, take my punch and just start to punch through, and it's hard to see the pencil mark on the brown paper, but just start it, and then what I'll do is then open it up. And when I was doing the other one, I wasted so many envelopes because I never made sure that I was punching on the right end, and I would end up punching on the wrong end. So just keep that in mind when you're going to punch, that you are punching on the right side. And then I just put the envelope, and I'll just move this so you can see what I'm doing. I just put the punch back inside the envelope and then punch out by lining it up inside there to punch out the other piece. So basically what I'm doing is just starting it and then punching out the rest. Okay? So what I would do is just then take my grommets, and I use the Making Memories extra large grommets, and I've only been able to find them online, and just punch my grommets through each one of these just like I did on these. So each page has a grommet. For the tag, what I did was, and let me just grab a tag so I can show you, is I just used the shipping tags from Staples. These are by Avery, and I just use these as my template because I want to use my pattern paper for the actual tag. And what I do is I just, let's use this one, I just trace it and then cut it out. Trace it and cut it out, and then use that as my insert, just like I did with these. So basically that's what these are, is just a trimmed out version of this and cut down to fit the envelope, because once you have the holes in the envelope, it's going to need to be a little bit smaller. So it would just go in here. And you could just use a solid cardstock if you want. This one's the pattern paper that matches the paper that I used for this mini. So there we go. That is how I made my little tag mini. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me or leave me a comment here on YouTube or on my blog. If you're going to leave a comment on my blog and you want me to answer, just leave your email address or just email me directly, because I always have a hard time commenting back on my blog because it only goes one after another, and I would rather just email you or something like that. So, okay, thanks for watching another episode of Creations with Christina. See you next time. Bye!